my check up like an athlete. Bad bitch on me,
Bilal Xquintyne is, I'm a father first, I'm a son, I'm a brother, and I'm a motivator to many. But more so than anything, I'm one of the most underrated fighters in the game right now. A lot of people, they know about me, but they try to act like they don't. So I just like to look at myself as the hidden gem. So I was born September 22nd, 1993 in a household of 3 siblings. I have an older brother, we're 11 months apart, and I have an older sister and a younger sister. I'm originally from West Springfield, Massachusetts, and then later relocated down to Atlanta, Georgia. My early childhood growing up it was decent. I seen a lot of things. My parents were, first of all, I grew up in a 2-parent household. My mother was a stay-home mom. My father was the breadwinner of the house. I've seen my family go through, hard times. I've seen us live in the hood, and I've seen us live in houses. So I come from really tight-knit family. And growing up, we was all pretty close. I used to fight with my brothers, fight with my sisters, going outside, playing football. That was really my first love. And, growing up in a neighborhood that I grew up in, I noticed that a lot of kids would come down to our house because of my father and my mother, both being in the house. I remember going outside, and my father wasn't just a father to me, he was a father to many, and my mother was a mother to many. So I remember kids coming over and playing football, my dad being the quarterback. I remember playing laser tag. So I grew up in with a really tight family and good parents to have. That's the thing about being a kid. Growing up, you don't really appreciate things. They say time and wisdom, they kind of work against each other, because by the time you understand things, it's usually too late. And when you should be understanding it, you don't care. So I didn't realize it until I got into a relationship with, my first wife. I got into a relationship with her, and I realized that, I would sit down, being a father, going off of how good my father was. So I would come home and simple things now, like sitting down at the table for dinner. All of us growing up, I used to sit at the table. All of us, that was like our time as a family. We would sit at the table together and talk. And when I was doing that with my first wife, she was like, I've never done this before. And I was like, what? And I was like, you ain't never sat down at the table with your family and ate. And then I met a lot of females who never done that. And I was like, wow. And then, when I go outside and I'm playing with other kids and, my son is out there, he's like, yeah, that's my dad. I know that feeling because that was my dad. But I look at a lot of other kids and they've never experienced that. So I think now that I've gotten older, I've realized how important it is, especially in the Black community, in the Black culture, as the men to take lead and not just be a father to our sons, but to be a father to our sons' friends and to be a father to our community, because it's important. You never know what kind of imprint you're putting on somebody's life. So from the family aspect, I was blessed. And on the other hand, giving thanks to my mother, she I never came home without a cooked meal. And I see that now. Like every single night, my mother cooked. And one thing that we always had with every meal was a salad, and when I started growing up and I started cooking, people wasn't used to that either. My mama cooked every night. My mama kept the house clean, and my mother was a writer, so she stayed at home writing books. So when I look at how a family is structured and looking at how a family is structured today, I can see why they look at the Black community as weak, because it starts at home, and it's bigger than just our own immediate family. Boxing is life in its rawest form. It really is. On the outside looking in, people looking in, they're like, oh, it's savage, y'all punching each other. But it's really not about the punching for me in the aspect. It's who you are. It really is who you are. If you're a lazy person, they're lazy in the ring. You're gonna be lazy in the ring. If you're a person who overthinks stuff, you're gonna overthink in the ring. If you're a person that's scared to take risks, you're gonna be scared to take risks inside the ring. So for an example, how do I break that down? Let's say it's the right hand. If you're not a risk taker, you're not gonna throw the right hand because you're scared of what's gonna happen. If you're really an undercover bully, you're going to see that in the ring. You're going to see people who only want to be in the ring with people that they know that they can beat up. So when I look at boxing, I look at it from a different lens, from a different view. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at it. It's beyond the punches. It's beyond the punches. It's who you are as a person. It's who you are as a person. And it's you in your rawest form, because the real opponent is not the person